absolutely exhausting evening, huh? To tell you the truth, Marcus, I don't feel very well.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You made me feel dirty, and I don't believe this whole thing is happening to me, okay?
Look at you. God, Marcus, you have yourself all upset and worked up over nothing.
Oh, nothing. That's what sex is to you, nothing, huh? What happened to caring and sharing and commitment? I know it sounds a little old-fashioned, but some people still think things like that are important. And you've made it painfully obvious that you're not one of them people.
Well, why don't I give you a second to think about it?
Oh, really? Yeah. I think you should, do your own thing.
Okay, Marcus? It's over. Good night.
Good night.
How to be a player in 2023. Okay, so why are there so many people hating on Lori Harvey? And why do so many people, particularly men, hate to see a traditional, attractive woman like Lori, beautiful, feminine, fit, and friendly, do exactly what they've been doing for centuries? The only difference with Lori is that she does it publicly, so effortlessly, and with grace. I will answer both of those questions in this video. Lori Harvey is a beautiful, fit, and friendly young woman who comes from a two-parent home. And that's just the baseline, because let many tell it, the problem with many women of today is that they come from absent father homes and therefore don't know how to act because they did not grow up with a man in the home. But in Lori's case, she was not only raised by her mother, Marjorie Harvey, but she was raised by her high-value stepfather, Steve Harvey, who, by the way, has a very old-school approach to traditional gender roles in his home. He works and pays the bills, and his wife stays home to take care of the kids and run the household. Back to Lori. Along with Steve Harvey, Lori was raised by her mother, like I said, Marjorie Harvey, who was married twice before marrying Steve Harvey and was able to choose wisely and level up, the very thing that many women are told to do so that their chances of picking a good man and not picking a Pookie or a Ray Ray is slim to none. But anyways, it appears that the only people who can give second chances, who we can give second chances to, or who is allowed to level up from their past bad choices and mistakes are those who I would call a redeemed Pookie and a Ray Ray, such as Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Jeezy, R. Kelly, all of which, and let's not forget the many, sport players, professional athletes, and the many people in entertainment who have, are ex-felons turned millionaires and billionaires whose past records have been forgotten. Ain't that interesting how that works? Ain't that interesting how they can level up and start making the right decisions, but Marjorie Harvey can't, even though she's never been to jail or have a criminal record. Was married to an ex-husband who got into some trouble, whom she decided not to be the hold-me-down woman to, and decided to divorce him and move on to Steve Harvey, which in my opinion is the epitome of a woman learning from her mistakes and leveling up. But again, let's move on. Traditionally, just like white people got used to black people occupying certain images and titles and roles, so did many black people. Hence why we had to fight for civil rights and representation for black people, more particularly in Hollywood, right? In, TV, things like that, medical field, education field, so on and so forth, right? But black society also got used to seeing black women occupy certain roles, such as the maid role. You guys know that role. It's the tired, overworked, underpaid, going 50-50, but still being able to find a grain of happiness in their oppression or in any little thing that their man could do for them or their households, right? Still just being able to find any little thing, right? And be happy with just that. We're used to seeing that. We're used to seeing black women play in those roles or be those roles, right? Another traditional role is that black society got used to seeing black women occupy the slave role. Now let's go deeper with this one. So the black woman in this role is in bondage right alongside the black man with no true rights, equality, or justice, just like the black man. But because she's the woman, she must be content with the struggle, the pain, the abuse, right? For many, many years, she's got to be content before the man can get on his feet, get himself together, and do something about the situation. So in other words, be the hold me down woman for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, faithful, loyal, not complaining about their situation, right? Until the man, gets enough courage and is able to get on his feet and do something about it. That's another thing that many in black society are used to seeing. All right, stay with me, you guys, because I'm going somewhere, because this is the thing. I'm painting a picture as to why it is such a big deal to see Lori Harvey, a beautiful young woman, do things on her own terms. It's a big deal because what we are used to seeing is just like what our oppressors taught us to see, right? We have to see black people, particularly black women, occupy certain roles because we can't see them living their best life. We can't see them living healthy, loving themselves, caring for themselves, doing things we just can't see that because we have to see them the traditional way, right? Because those are traditional ways, right? The maid is the epitome of tradition as it relates to black woman imagery, as it relates to black women literally playing those roles. Like that was a real thing, right? Another traditional role that we're used to seeing, and this is more so in TV and stuff like that, which we all know translates over into real livelihood, because a lot of people, there's been so many studies that actually prove this, so I'm not going to get into that, but that translates over into livelihood, like how people, begin to view and see things or their situation, right? So another traditional role for black society has gotten used to seeing black women occupy is the sex worker role, like the classic movie The Mac, right?
Hey bitch, come here. Got your motherfucking man, come here.
Mr. Pretty Tony, you know the rules of the game. Your bitch just chose me. Now we can settle this like you got some class, so we can get into some gangster shit.
You shade tree nigga. You ain't no pimp. You're a rest haven for hoes. You're a car thief. A car thief. The one you got out there is probably hot as a firecracker right now.
It was $35,000.
$35,000 cash money?
No, I give $35,000 plus one, right?
The one I gave.
No, you gave me 6, though, right? That was one. I had one. It was 6, and then $35,000 plus 1 plus 6 leaves 7. $35,000 and 7, right? Motherfucker, can you buy that?
Nigga, next time you hear grown folks talking, shut the fuck up, here. Go get her, Bob. Bring that bitch here.
Freeze, nigga. You wanna die?
Just wait, gonna be, man. She'll pay. I'm gonna make you wish you never was born, nigga.
Or Harlem Nights, right? You guys remember in those movies, you had the sex worker women, right? Under the direction of the man, whom they would sell their bodies for just so that they can give their earnings to the man. But when it is flipped, where the woman is doing it on her own terms and she wants to do whatever she wants to do with her money because she used her body, it's a problem. Do you guys see that and notice that? So when the man is dictating it, traditionally it was okay. Nobody ever made a big fuss about the movie The Mac. As a matter of fact, the man, the actor, I think his name was Julius, I can't remember his last name. The actual actor from that movie is he's like a hero, right? We've seen him, they've shown him in other movies where he's supposed to be the epitome of knowing how to quote unquote make a woman act right, quote unquote pimping. You see that? Do you guys see the parallel to that? Do you see the sickness in that? Right? Do you see that? All right. Let's move on. Right? So nobody in Black society ever had a problem, like I said, with the movies Players Club, How to Be a Player. Remember, How to Be a Player was a movie that was made in the 90s, you guys, where a man was literally running around being the biggest player. And they were literally teaching and laying out the rules and how men should do and how they should play and get over on women. This was an actual movie.
And I'll say it again, a player never gets busted. And Katrina, she got what she wanted. I guess I'ma change one day. Settle down, Lisa. Have me some kids. Be normal. But today, just ain't today.
But was there any outrage? I don't think there was, because I was actually, even though I was really young during that time, I remember guys would resort back to that movie when they were talking about being a player. Because I was really young. I think that movie was in 92 and I was a child. But I just remember, growing up hearing player and How to Be a Player and all of that. But anyways, many others were it was when the men were in control and the men were able to put the women that they dealt with in certain boxes, it was okay, right? Remember the Cuddy Buddy box, the Hit It and Quit It box, the Bust Down box, the Tip Drill box, the Friend with Benefits box, the Midnight Hype box. See, when the man gets to choose the box that he wants to put the women that he's dealing with in, it's okay. It's never an outrage. Historically, it's never been. Right? Now, if he wants to put her in the girlfriend box or the wife box, again, it's him choosing to do all of that. When he's in control of the boxes that he's putting these women in, it's okay. There's no problem. Why are y'all getting all mad? There is no problem. But see, when it's a Lori Harvey or any other woman choosing to put the man that she's dealing with in certain boxes, now there's a problem. Damn, why stuff gotta be like that? Anyways, this brings me back to Lori Harvey. The problem is not that she is beautiful, fit, submissive, and friendly. The problem is that she is in control of how and when and who she spends her time with. The very roles that Black women have never seen, right? Especially so publicly like this. Because again, those roles have been demised, right? Again, when you think about Robin Givens from the clip that I showed you guys earlier in the 1992 movie Boomerang, where she did exactly what Eddie Murphy was doing. Eddie Murphy was a menace to women. He was out here running through women. He was out here being a womanizer and a big old hoe and a big old player. And guess what, you guys? When he got his karma from Robin Givens, oh my God, how could she? Why would she do that? Oh, she's so wrong. Oh my. But he wasn't wrong when he was doing it. And they even showed a clip in that movie where he literally stopped talking to a woman because he didn't like the way her feet looked. You guys, come on now. So for many, many decades, it's been okay for the men to dictate how they deal with women, for the men to dictate how they play women. Hence, Players Club, Eddie Murphy and Boomerang. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. It's not being a player, right? These men know exactly who and what they're getting. They know. This is not the 90s where we don't have a such thing as social media and you can't just Google somebody. So these men know, right? They're choosing, making a decision. I mean, you guys, the very thing that women are told to do, choose wisely. Yeah. So they're choosing to be in relation with this woman. Now, this brings me to the end of the video. What's the takeaway? Lori Harvey is young, she's beautiful, she's feminine, and she dates on her own terms. According to her, if the situation does not serve her She knows how to let it go and how to move on. I think we can all learn from that. And let me be clear. Just because you do not agree with 100% of what somebody does or is doing does not mean that, you know, the whole thing is bad, right? I can't say that I 100% agree with the way in which Lori is doing things, or how I can't say that, right? I can't say that, but what I can say is that there's something to be learned, right? There's something to be learned, and there is something to take away from that. And we got to understand that, you know, in our parents and aunties' lives, they wasn't dealing with a bunch of six-figure men. They wasn't dealing with a bunch of millionaire men. They were dealing with your old uncle down the street, the shade tree mechanic, your old dude around the corner, you know, who works for the city, you know, where he's the trash man. They wasn't dealing with these millionaires. You know what I'm saying? They were not. They were taking whatever they could or had at the time and just making the best out of it. And that's just the truth. And unfortunately, your mama and your grandmama not going to be honest with you about that. They're just not. Because obviously they don't want you to see them in a bad light. But that it is what it is. I mean, shit speaks for itself. The community ain't like it is because there were so many greats. The community is like it is because there was a lot of people just doing what they wanted to do. All right. That's a whole nother story. Now, on that note, I'm done, you guys. Now, I will end with this. I would like you guys to help me out. Go ahead and like the video, please. If you are new, thanks for watching, and I invite you to subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. I appreciate you. And last, please leave a comment below. I am interested to know if you guys agree with me. If you don't agree, please be respectful. You can share whatever opinion you have, but be respectful, because you will get blocked if not. And what can you add to the conversation? Did I miss anything? Go ahead and get in the comment section. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.